Over 60? Eat these 7 cheap high-protein foods to build muscle fast. Wellness tips. Most seniors waste hundreds on protein powders that don't work. But a 73-year-old nurse reversed her muscle loss in 8 weeks using cheap grocery store foods. No shakes, no pills, just strategic eating that costs less than coffee. The protein source doctors recommend most? It's sitting in your pantry right now, and it builds muscle 40% faster than chicken. Number 1, eggs and the leucine trigger. Eggs get treated like background food. We crack them, cook them fast, and move on. Or worse, we separate the yolk and pretend we're being disciplined. That habit looks clean on paper, but it quietly works against muscle. We've learned, sometimes the hard way, that muscle doesn't respond to protein the way it once did. The signal has to be louder now. That signal is leucine. Think of leucine as the switch that smells muscle. Pay attention. Build now. With time, that switch becomes stiff. It still works, but it needs a firmer push. Here's where eggs earn their place. Whole eggs carry enough leucine to flip that switch without forcing your digestion to work overtime. According to nutrition research frequently cited by institutions like Harvard, eggs consistently rank among the most bioavailable proteins we can eat. More of what you eat actually gets used. Protein powders promise convenience, but many pass through without the same muscle response. Eggs arrive with balance: fat for hormone support, protein for structure, and micronutrients that powders strip away. If cholesterol has been a concern, start with 1 whole egg and 1 white. If digestion feels heavy, cook them gently. Soft scramble beats rubbery every time. Before we go on, drop your name and where you're watching from in the comments. We read them. Use eggs earlier in the day or after training, not as filler, but as a signal. And keep listening, because the next food doesn't work while you're awake. It works while you sleep. Number 2, canned sardines and muscle inflammation. Protein gets all the attention, and inflammation gets ignored. That's the quiet mistake. We count grams, track meals, and still feel sore longer than expected. That's not weakness. That's inflammation putting the brakes on muscle recovery. Muscle doesn't grow in a hostile environment. Low-grade inflammation acts like static in the signal. You train, you eat, but the message arrives distorted. Omega-3 fats clear that static. They don't build muscle directly. They make muscle willing to respond. Sardines do this better than most things in a bottle. Fish oil capsules look refined, but many are underdosed, oxidized, or inconsistent. Sardines arrive intact. Bone, skin, and oil included. That matters. Research often referenced by institutions like the NIH shows whole food omega-3 sources reduce muscle soreness and improve recovery efficiency more reliably than supplements. There's also a practicality here. A can in the pantry doesn't expire fast, doesn't require preparation, and doesn't cost like a luxury item pretending to be medicine. A simple use: sardines on toast with mustard or olive oil, post-training or with lunch. No ceremony, just function. If sodium is a concern, rinse them lightly. If digestion feels sensitive, start with half a can. If gout has been an issue, space them out rather than daily. Use sardines not for size, but for resilience. Strength that lasts recovers quietly. And coming up next, there's a food that feeds muscle slowly, long after the lights go out. Number 3, Greek yogurt and slow-release protein. Protein gets treated like a workout accessory. We eat it before training, after training, and then forget about the hours in between. That gap is where muscle quietly leaks away. Muscle is always in conversation with your bloodstream. When amino acids drop too low for too long, the body borrows from muscle to stay balanced. This matters most during long stretches without food, especially overnight. The loss isn't dramatic. It's subtle, steady, and easy to miss. Greek yogurt changes that rhythm. Its main protein is casein. Casein doesn't rush. It releases amino acids slowly, like a drip feed instead of a surge. According to protein metabolism research often cited by European sports nutrition groups, this slow delivery reduces overnight muscle breakdown and supports recovery without spiking insulin or digestion. Think of it as leaving the lights on low rather than switching them off completely. A bowl of plain Greek yogurt in the evening, maybe with a few berries or nuts. No sugar load, no heaviness, just quiet support while you sleep. If dairy sensitivity shows up as bloating, choose lactose-free Greek yogurt. If kidney function has been flagged in the past, keep portions moderate rather than excessive. This isn't about timing perfection. It's about coverage. Muscle responds better when it's never left unattended for too long. And next we'll talk about a plant food most people underestimate because it doesn't look powerful, but it behaves like it understands restraint. Number 4, lentils without kidney strain. Plant protein gets dismissed too quickly. It's seen as incomplete, weak, or risky for the kidneys. That fear sounds responsible, but it's usually based on old misunderstandings that haven't aged well. The issue was never plant protein itself. The issue was imbalance. Lentils solve that quietly. When eaten in normal portions, lentils provide a broad amino acid profile that supports muscle without stressing filtration systems. They don't flood the bloodstream. They arrive gradually, which is exactly why they're easier on the body. Fiber is the hidden advantage here. Fiber slows digestion, steadies blood sugar, and reduces insulin spikes. Stable insulin means muscle can accept nutrients without fighting inflammation. According to metabolic health research, often referenced by organizations like the American Diabetes Association, this stability supports recovery and long-term muscle maintenance, and not just short-term energy. A simple, realistic example: lentils cooked with onions, olive oil, and spices paired with rice or vegetables. Affordable, filling, reliable, no performance theatrics, just consistency. If digestion has been sensitive, start with smaller portions and cook them thoroughly. If kidney concerns exist, lentils are typically safer than heavy animal-only protein patterns, but moderation still matters. Lentils don't shout, they support, and support compounds. Up next, there's a common bedtime habit that quietly works against muscle, and fixing it costs almost nothing. Number 5, cottage cheese before bed. Going to bed on an empty system feels disciplined. Dinner is done, the kitchen is closed, and the body is left to rest. That habit sounds clean, but it creates a long stretch where muscle is unprotected. Overnight, the body still needs amino acids. When none are coming in, it borrows, not from fat first, but from muscle. This isn't dramatic loss, it's quiet erosion. Night after night, it adds up. Cottage cheese changes that outcome. Like Greek yogurt, it's rich in casein, but it's thicker, slower, and more sustained. Shakes digest too fast. They spike, then disappear. Cottage cheese stays present. According to protein utilization research often referenced by sports medicine groups, slow digesting proteins before sleep reduce overnight muscle breakdown more effectively than liquid options. A relatable routine. Dishes are done, lights are lower, maybe a few minutes of reading or stretching. A small bowl of cottage cheese fits there easily. No heaviness, no sugar rush, just coverage while the body repairs itself. If sodium intake needs attention, choose low sodium versions. If dairy sensitivity shows up late at night, keep the portion modest or pair it with a few nuts to slow digestion further. This isn't about eating more, it's about not leaving muscle unattended during its longest fast. And next, we'll get very practical because the cheapest protein per dollar is already sitting on most grocery shelves. Number 6, canned tuna and Costa Protein Power. Cheap food gets treated with suspicion. If it doesn't look premium, we assume it can't deliver premium results. That assumption drains wallets and slows progress. Muscle doesn't recognize price tags. It responds to usable protein. Canned tuna delivers that with almost no waste. Open the lid and you're looking at roughly 25 grams of dense protein, minimal fat, and no filler. Visually, think of it like this. A small can equals a full chicken breast in protein impact without the cooking time or cleanup. Cost matters more than people admit. Consistency is what builds strength, and consistency collapses when food feels expensive or inconvenient. Tuna solves both. According to nutritional data often referenced by organizations like the USDA, tuna remains one of the highest protein per dollar foods available. That math compounds over weeks, not just meals. A busy day scenario makes this obvious. Lunch gets rushed, dinner runs late, energy dips. A can of tuna with olive oil, lemon, or even mixed into a simple salad keeps muscle fed without decision fatigue. No stove, no planning spiral. If mercury exposure has been flagged before, rotate tuna with other proteins rather than daily use. If digestion feels dry, add healthy fats or vegetables to slow absorption. Use tuna as a tool, not a lifestyle. It's there to remove friction, not replace variety. And next, we'll look at one meat that quietly saves money while delivering the same muscle results people overpay for elsewhere. Number 7, ground turkey versus beef. Paying more often feels like progress. Beef sits at the center of that belief. It looks strong, feels traditional, and carries a reputation for building muscle. The mistake is assuming price and results move together. Muscle doesn't care whether protein came from beef or turkey. It cares about amino acids arriving, being absorbed, and being tolerated well enough to repeat tomorrow. That's it. Studies frequently referenced by sports nutrition researchers show that gram for gram, lean ground turkey and lean beef produce the same muscle-building response when total protein is matched. Where turkey quietly wins is digestion and fat control. Beef carries more saturated fat, which can slow digestion and leave energy feeling heavy later in the day. Turkey moves through more cleanly. Less drag, less recovery tax. That matters when training frequency increases. Picture a grocery run. 2 packages, one noticeably cheaper. Same protein count. One leaves you feeling steady after dinner, the other sits heavy. Over weeks, that difference shapes consistency. Consistency shapes results. If turkey feels dry or unappealing, choose blends with a little fat rather than ultra-lean cuts. If iron levels have been a concern, rotating beef occasionally still has value. This is about strategy, not elimination. Swap intelligently. Save money without losing outcomes. That's quiet discipline. And hold on to this point, because it sets up the bonus, one of the most misunderstood ideas in nutrition, and correcting it changes how all these foods actually work together. If you've stayed with me this far, write one short word in the comments. Just one. It's our quiet signal. It tells me you didn't skim, you didn't skip, and you value understanding over shortcuts. We notice that. This channel isn't built on noise. It's built on people who stay, think, and apply. That word tells us you're part of that group. Bonus point. The 30-minute window myth. The belief sounds urgent. Miss the window and you miss the gains. Protein shakes lined up like medicine, timers running in the background. That pressure creates stress, not strength. Muscle doesn't work on a stopwatch. It works on availability. Younger bodies burn through signals fast, so timing feels dramatic. Our physiology is different. Muscle responds more slowly, but for longer. According to research frequently discussed by experts in protein metabolism, the muscle-building response lasts several hours after training, not minutes. That changes everything. What matters is coverage, not panic. Protein before training, protein after training, protein later in the day. The body adds it up. Miss one moment and nothing collapses. Consistency still wins. Practical guidance looks simple. Train, hydrate, eat a solid meal within a reasonable window. 1 to 3 hours is fine. If appetite isn't there right away, wait. Forcing food rarely improves results. Muscle prefers calm systems. If training intensity is high and meals are skipped regularly, recovery can stall. If digestion is slow post-workout, liquid options can help temporarily, but they're not mandatory. This bonus matters because it removes pressure. Pressure makes people quit. Calm systems last. Stay with me a little longer because the final takeaway isn't about food at all. It's about safety. And it's the difference between progress that builds you up and habits that quietly wear you down. Most people treat protein like a project, intense for a few weeks, strict for a short season, then forgotten once life interrupts. That on-off pattern feels productive, but it never compounds. What works instead is quiet continuity. Modest protein repeated daily without drama. Muscle remembers patterns more than effort. Consistency teaches the body what to protect. That's the difference between strength that shows up occasionally and capability that stays available when you need it. This insight is here for one reason. You stayed. Returning viewers build something different. You're not collecting tips. You're shaping a system that supports you for years. We appreciate that. This channel exists for people who value long horizons. Keep showing up. Small, repeatable choices are how independence becomes permanent.